Hi everyone, thanks for taking the time to check out our video series. My name is Stephen Sobierajski. I am the Associate Director of Admissions for the Culinary Institute of America, and I specialize in working with international students applying to our school. Today I'm going to go over how to complete our online application available through the CIA website. So the first thing that you want to do is go to ciachef.edu, and when the page loads, go to any one of these pages and select Apply Now from this green button that you'll see. Once you click that button, you'll be taken to a sign-in page, and you'll select this link here that says Create an Account to start your application. Okay. The first page that you'll be taken to asks you for your personal information and contact info, so name, email address, phone number, things like that. Let's go over this real quick. First, you will enter your name, and your email address. Next, you'll enter your cell phone number or home phone number, depending on whatever your preference is. I recommend cell. And very important for international students is to click this box that says, is this an international address? Otherwise, it's going to ask you for a US format address. But in this case, you'll be able to answer your international address. Okay, city we'll put Mumbai, India. Okay, and your high school graduation year. And finally, your birth date. Okay. This question about the United States Armed Forces. If you have experience working with the U.S. Armed Forces, you can answer this question, or you can skip it and leave it as no. Next, you'll be asked to enter which campus you prefer to attend. We offer 3 campuses, our main campus in New York, or our branch campuses in California and Texas. We also have some online programs for our graduate students, if you're interested. I'm going to go ahead and select New York. Once you select the campus, a field will appear asking you to accept a degree type. If you select the associate degree, it'll skip right to your major. If you select the bachelor's degree, which I'm going to do, it will ask you to select a major. So I'll select Food Business Management, our most popular degree program. And I will also select a focus of culinary arts. You have a choice between culinary and baking and pastry arts. I'm selecting culinary. Next, select the start date when you would like to begin. All of the dates that you see here are dates for which we are already accepting applications. I'm going to go ahead and select fall 2021. Next, you'll want to create a password. You should make it something that is easy for you to remember, but is also secure. And you should not give this password out. Click Create Account. So this page will take a couple of minutes to take all this information and put it into a profile for you in our database. But now that we have this ready, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what's on this page. This is your application portal. It will show you any applications that you have in progress, which we do not yet, but we will be creating one shortly. Any events that you've signed up for. I haven't signed up for any yet, but I can view upcoming events here and sign up for them in the portal, and then they will show up in this area. Next is your profile, which includes your name and address and contact information, as well as what program you are interested in applying for. Okay, so let's go up here and click Create a New Application. It will take you to this page. Click Start a New Application, and it will automatically populate the choice that you selected, and click Submit. Now again, this page will take a few minutes to load, and then you'll be taken to the application. All right. Now you're ready to start. On this page, you'll see an extension of your personal info. It's a little bit more detailed, so just check to make sure that you entered your info correctly and fill in any blanks, such as your middle name, preferred first name, former last name, if applicable, if you prefer to be called by a title, and your gender. Date of birth is already populated, as you can see, and we've already entered our address information, so that's already included. Next is a question about citizenship. There are 3 choices: non-U.S. citizen, U.S. citizen, and U.S. permanent resident. If you are a non-resident of the United States and do not have citizenship, you'll select non-U.S. citizen, and you'll see a couple of other boxes pop up. If you currently have a visa to enter the United States, you can select from this list. I'm going to select F1, which is the most common student visa, and then next is your country of citizenship. So if you have citizenship for one country, but you live in another country, The idea here is to try to find out what nation of the world you are a citizen of. And finally, we'll pick our native language, which in my case is English. Okay, then we'll move down to this ethnicity information. This information here is optional, but I'm going to go ahead and enter it. It is purely for research purposes and does not impact your ability to be accepted to the CIA. Okay, when you feel like you've entered all the information that you want to have on this page correctly, click Save and Continue, and it will advance you to the next page. Okay. The next page collects information about your college plans. Some of this may already be populated once again by questions that you've already answered, such as campus, degree type, major, focus, start date. And then finally, this question down at the bottom, are you applying for financial aid? The financial aid question refers to students who will be applying for U.S. government aid through the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA for short. The FAFSA is only available to U.S. citizens and permanent residents. If you are an international student, you can leave this section as not required, but don't worry, there are other financial aid opportunities available for you. So then you click Save and Continue, and it will advance you to the next page. On page 4, you'll find information about your family. Now again, the information that's on this page is optional. You do not have to enter it if you do not want to. However, having alternative contact information can be helpful if your admissions counselor can't get a hold of you, or if your parents want to ask some questions. We know who we're speaking to if you enter their information. So I'm going to go ahead and put my mother's name. Okay. And we'll say it works at bookstore, and she's the executive page turner. Okay. Enter some contact information for your parent. Okay, and their phone number. Now, in this case, I don't want to give more information about a parent, but if you'd like to put both your parents or a legal guardian, you certainly can. But just for these purposes, we'll say one parent is enough. Okay. The next page is about your academic information. Now, this information is very important, and we need it entered correctly in order to accurately review your application. So please pay attention to these questions as you fill in the info. First, select whether you will be receiving a GED or equivalency diploma. If you don't know what either of these things are, chances are you are graduating with a regular high school diploma in your home country. So whether you've attended a public school, a private school, an international school, a vocational school, most of these are considered general high school diplomas and not equivalencies. If you have taken the GED, or you are going to take the GED because you want to have a U.S. high school credential, you can mark yes to this question, but if not, you can leave it blank. Next, if you've attended a vocational or technical program, again, this question just really focuses in on whether or not you've taken classes in culinary or hospitality or anything of that nature. It, again, does not impact your admissibility, but we do like to know, just for our statistical records, if students are taking culinary courses or vocational courses outside of the Culinary Institute of America. You'll also see your high school graduation year already populated from the question you answered earlier. And next, you'll be asked to add the high schools and colleges you've attended. So we have this little widget that allows you to add high schools. Enter the name of the school that you've attended. Okay. Now you'll notice that some of the search results were popping up as I was typing because we have a database of hundreds of international schools all over the world. However, if you type in the name of your school and you don't see it listed, we have a way for you to write in the school. And this is an area where some students get stuck a little bit and then have a hard time submitting the application. So if you don't see your school listed, click on this button where it says School Not Found, and then you can manually type in your school's information. Okay. Then it's going to ask you to add in the dates of attendance. So if we graduated in 2020, we'll say that we started our school year in 2016, or a school career in 2016, and that we attended until June of 2020. If you've graduated, yes. If you plan on graduating, also select yes to this question, and then put in the date of your graduation. Okay. If you know the name of your high school's guidance counselor, you are welcome to add that person's name in here, as well as their contact information. And the reason that this is important is because we may reach out to your guidance counselor for assistance with your academic documents, or if you've listed your guidance counselor as a reference or something along those lines. So you can add that in here. If you don't have this information, it's okay. You can leave these parts blank and move on to the next section. Next, you'll also be asked to add in any colleges you've attended. I'm going to assume that if you're watching this, you're a high school student, so I'm not going to add any college information, but the process is very similar to adding in the high school info. You can click here if you have attended colleges for credit, or if you are currently enrolled as a student at a college or university, and then you have the widget here which allows you to add in the information about the universities or colleges that you've attended. If you are currently applying to other colleges, you can also add that in here. We'd like to know, what our students are interested in, so we'd like to know more information about you if possible, and you can add that information here with this widget. Next is your standardized tests. If you have taken the TOEFL, SAT, ACT, IELTS, or the PTE academic test, you can check these boxes, and you'll be asked about your scores later on. We do not require the SAT or ACT to enroll at the university. However, if you are an international student whose first language is not English, you may need to submit a test of English proficiency, such as the TOEFL, IELTS, or PTE academic, or Cambridge. There are other examples as well. Okay. Next, you can add in the name of your guidance counselor, or whoever your recommender may be. Your recommender can be a teacher, a guidance counselor, an employer, a professional colleague, really anybody that knows you in a professional capacity or an academic capacity and is not somebody to whom you are related. If this person is a CIA alumni, you can check this box, but if not, that's okay. Once again, we'll put in our guidance counselor email address as an example, and your recommender's phone number. Okay. Next, select Save and Continue, and it will advance you to the next slide. Okay. Next is a chance for you to tell us about any extracurricular activities that you participated in. So this is a place just to tell us about your personal interests and other things that you may have accomplished as a student. So I'm going to add a couple of different things here just to show people that I am a well-rounded student who has interest outside of the world of hospitality, but who's also interested in some other activities. This question here relates to national organizations inside the United States. If you are fortunate enough to be able to participate in any of these competitions, please feel free to check any of these boxes, but if not, you can skip this question and move on to food service experience. If you have food service experience, we would love to know about that. So tell us, even if you've done a short internship for 3 months, or if you've worked a part-time job, or if you've worked after school, or if you worked in the summer, or if you did a stage at a restaurant or something like that, this is the place to enter that, okay? Once you're done with that, click Save and Continue, and it will take you to the next page. And we have arrived at the signature page, which is one of the last pages in the application. Pay attention to this section here that talks about disciplinary history. There's a couple questions here regarding charges for felony or misdemeanor crimes. If you've had a formal disciplinary action from a secondary or post-secondary school, or if you've ever been disciplined by any branch of the armed services in the United States. I'm going to answer no to all of these questions, because that is the criteria that I fall into. And just so you're aware, if you answer yes to any of these questions, it does not mean that you are not going to be reviewed or that you will not be able to be admitted. It means that your application will go in for a secondary review with our Student Affairs Department, and they will issue a decision on whether or not your application can move forward. So you should answer this truthfully, and if anything pops up that Student Affairs has questions about, they will contact you and issue a decision based on the information that they receive. The next is the certifications, asking that you understand all the information that you've submitted, that the information that you've submitted is true, and that the nature of a admissions decision is conditional, and that you will need to submit supporting documentation to your application based on our admissions requirements. So I'm going to answer yes to these questions, indicating that I understand. And then the final thing you're going to do is you're going to sign your name on the application electronically using your name exactly as it's spelled on the first page. So make sure that you enter in this line your first and last name exactly as they are spelled on the first page. Read through the notices at the bottom to make sure that you understand who your civil rights compliance officers are, and if you need assistance with your application, who to contact. Okay. And then finally, down at the bottom, you have this button that says Preview Before Submission. This gives you an opportunity to look through your application and make sure that you've submitted all of the info the right way. Okay. And finally, if you look through this and everything looks right and the information is correct and you're happy with the way that you have entered all the info, you can hit Submit. If not, you can go back and edit other parts. Once you are happy with it, you come back again and click Submit. Okay. And finally, you'll be taken to the page that allows you to enter your application fee. I'm going to use a fee waiver code that we have available right now, which will reduce the total to 0. And then we'll move on to the final step, which is submitting the application. Okay, now your application is submitted. You can click this link here, which will take you back to your application portal. And voila, you have submitted your application to the Culinary Institute of America. Now, this does not mean that you're done. What this means is that you've submitted the application form. In addition to the application form, there will be several pieces of documentation that you'll need to submit. We go over those documentation parts in another video, so please feel free to check that out. But for now, I'd like to say thanks for viewing our video, and please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or if you would like some clarification on the application process. Thanks for joining us.